It's not your framework. It's you they're buying. Your framework just allows you to relay your expertise in a way they can understand it.
Today, we are talking all things marketing. We're guiding you on how to step into your extraordinary through marketing and focus. And in this instance, focus stands for fix one clearly urgent struggle. Our guest today has been a successful entrepreneur in the marketing space for the last 20 years. He's written books. He has his own podcast. He has spoken around the world on these very topics around marketing, strategy, and driving that impact for profitability. Let's jump into the conversation today with Michael Buzinski, or as we like to call him, Buzz. The buzz is here on the GSD Factor podcast because we're going to talk and we're going to get shit done about marketing. And I'm very excited to have you. We have just completed a podcast swap. So how fun is that? So be sure to check out both podcasts that are coming out here shortly. So Buzz, share with everybody a little bit about your story.
For all your listeners, hi, I'm Buzz, and I've been around the block once or twice. I've lived in 5 countries, 8 states, and been to 24 countries. So yes, I've been everywhere, man. I should have that hat when I say that. Your hat, it was just an awesome hat, I want to say. So anyway, 30 years in marketing. I've spent all of it, or most of it, I should say, in the SMB space. I've owned my company, Buzzworthy Marketing, for 20 years. We focus on the creating predictably profitable marketing operating systems for business-to-business service providers. I am, let's see, what else would you like to know? I love to play music. I'm a failed professional musician. I was a part-time professional musician for 15 years. My company originally started as a recording studio in Anchorage, Alaska, after getting out of the Air Force, where I served for 9.5 years aboard a plane called F.O.C.U.S. I'm a Scorpio Sagittarius cusp, and I don't like long walks on the beach. I'd rather hike up a mountain.
Excellent. I love it. Now we know a little bit about everything, a little bit about all of it with you.
There you go.
So on your podcast that I was just on, we were talking about how you had just attended an interesting webinar where the topic of do you share your secret sauce or don't share your secret sauce? And I really liked your philosophy and approach about this. And I think that this would be a really great nugget to drop on our GSD Factor listeners because we have a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of solopreneurs, a lot of people that are breaking out into their companies and scaling them. And so marketing is a big focus. And I think that your philosophy on this was really fascinating. So let's dive into that.
All right. Well, I mean, we're talking about the fact that, like, as service providers, especially in the business to business, in B2C, if you're a service provider, coach, consultant, any of those types of things, even if you're a dentist or a chiropractor, people are relying on you for your information. Now, what brings them in is your authority, your experience, your expertise, and your trustworthiness. Okay. And so what we were discussing is, like, when you're coming on a show like this and you're laying out a framework, or maybe you're doing a webinar where you're trying to bring people, multiple people in at the same time, and you're saying, hey, I'm going to show you this framework on how to do X, Y, Z. And so the example we were talking about was a company that basically wanted to sell you podcast production and coaching on how to monetize your podcast. And so I've had a very successful podcast over the last couple of years, but I'm always looking for that next thing that we can make it even better, right? So I'm taking lunch, washing dishes, listening to this webinar in the background, and they get to this spot where they start talking about the special sauce. This is the stuff I came for, right? Because it's always, I don't know, If you've been to a lot of webinars or even read a lot of books, you're like, you have to wade through all of the stuff that they have to set the context and set the stage to get to that nugget that made them write the book in the first place. Well, the webinars are exactly the same. It's like you're going through all the minutia, blah, 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 blah. And then they give you the special sauce. And so I'm like, okay, here we go. We got the special sauce right now. Let's go. And they're like, so I'm like, okay, maybe they just teased. So then they come back up to it and, oh yeah, and that's the special sauce. And the way that he said it, you could start telling, he's not going to tell you what the special sauce is. You got to buy in. Now that's not, when you're talking about a webinar, or if you're on stage, or you're in a podcast, or you're sharing information on social media in your feed and you're trying to create authority, give them everything, because there's three things you're going to have. If somebody listens to you to try to get information from you, there's three ways that they're going to take that information. One, they're going to run with it. Those weren't your clients to begin with, so don't worry, you didn't miss out on anything. Okay? Two, I'm going to try it myself. And when I fail, I'm going to end up coming back to you most likely because you're the one that gave it to me. Now, problem is if you only give him 97% of all the information and you kept the secret sauce to yourself, you're going to look like the a-hole because you kind of bait and switched them. You told them that this is what you had to do, and you took them at their word that you gave them everything, because that's the assumption. I give you my time, you give me all of the information, and we go from there. And so you don't want to be that guy, right? Because you're going to lose out on those people in the long run. Or number three, they're going to go, that's awesome, but I don't want to have to do it. Will you do it for me? Okay. And the last one is technically the people that you are going for. So give everybody everything, and then let the self-identified people who are looking for the help, the guide, if you're offering guidance, or the done for you for the people who are lazy and or smart entrepreneurs, right? And those are the people you want to deal with anyway. So why not show them everything, make it make sense to them, paint the picture of what it's going to look like for you, and then let the cards fall where they will.
There you go.
Oh, you're using my line on me?
You have to go listen to my podcast with Buzz to get it. There was your drop the mic moment. No, I think it's great because I think so many times, and I do a lot of mentoring, especially with founders, and they're saying, oh, I can't tell you all the things, or I can't show you all the things because of my IP or because of my secret sauce or whatever. But the fact of the matter is that if they would just be open and honest and their full authentic selves and sharing, you're exactly right. The cards are going to fall, and you're going to attract the right people that you should be working with, not the people that are not going to be the right partners for you, whether it's clients, whether it's vendors, whether it's partners, whether it's team members, right? If you put it all out there, you're going to attract the right people from that stance.
And the thing is this, if you think you got IP that nobody else got, you're joking with yourself. I'm sorry. We all are spinning yarn that was created, or that the fabric was created many, many moons ago. Okay. We just have a new way of presenting that relates to people today. Okay. When you talk about guys like Tony Robbins and all the gurus out there, John Maxwell, they're all regurgitating the stuff from Think and Grow Rich, right? When you talk about Kawasaki, what's his name? Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Gino Kawasaki? Kawasaki, I can't remember his first name. Anyway, the concept of compounding interest is not new. Right? Okay, so get over yourself. Okay, be you. I was just on a call. We're a tech-enabled marketing firm, right? And we have this new program, and I'm doing a demo, and we had just launched this thing. So I've just started to getting good at giving the demo. I needed the practice, right? And the guy on the other side, because I kind of got flustered that like my tech wasn't working, and he's like, "Don't worry about it, man. I bought you, not the tech." Right? Think about that. It's not your widget. It's not your framework. It's you they're buying. Your framework just allows you to relay your expertise in a way they can understand it. And you created the framework and they're buying you.
There you go. Tell you, you're just dropping them. It's amazing. So speaking of framework, let's talk about your F.O.C.U.S framework.
Okay. All right. So we were talking about are we innovating? Are we leaning into our influence and all these things, right? And
Are
so
we stepping into our extraordinary?
Yeah. You guys are talking about, in your extraordinary. And this is the crazy thing. So when I market people, I only work with B2B service providers for one reason, because people are buying people. Okay. Just like that guy was sinner. I bought into you, Buzz, right? I want that every time. People buy into extraordinary people. Okay. To be extraordinary does not mean that you have to be extraordinary, or as the kids say, extra. No cat. I don't know if that's right, but anyway. So what they're saying is extraordinary. If you add one more word back there, which is extraordinarily focused on the problem you solve. Because as a business to business and most B2C, you only exist for one reason: solve other people's problems. Now, problem is that we have all these features that we like to sell and not solutions. Or we like to sell that we are solution based, but then we don't mention the solution to what, right? So I have an acronym called F.O.C.U.S that helps people with their product marketing. And F.O.C.U.S stands for Fix One Clearly Urgent Struggle. Okay. If you look at your business, there is a big struggle that most of your potential clients and your current clients probably you have solved for. Okay. And from that, you can solve for the majority of the rest of the people that you want to serve. Okay. So when we look at F.O.C.U.S and we get focused, we are looking for that biggest pain point, the urgent struggle, the clearly urgent struggle. All three of those words, very important. Okay. The only more important word is one, clearly urgent struggle. I say these really slowly because the better you can focus on the biggest problem you can solve for your client, you will be able to charge more, because the bigger the problem, higher the price point. Because the more you affect somebody, bigger impact, higher price point, right? Bigger urgent, or the bigger the problem, probably the higher the urgency. So they're going to buy faster, they're going to pay more, and they're going to lean in. Okay. Now, why only one? In marketing, you get 3 seconds to make an impression? If you're trying to cover all the bases in 3 seconds, what are they going to remember? Nothing. But if you only said one thing in 3 seconds, you only give them one thing to remember. And if it's the one clearly urgent struggle they have, they're going to connect with it. You're going to touch them in a place where they're like, how did he know that was my pain? How does that person know me? What the tick? Now they're going to lean in more and they're going to ask questions. It's like, how is it that you know that that's my problem? Right? Now, people will spend money faster and more freely on overcoming pain than they will for pleasure. This is why we focus on the urgent struggle they have. Focus on that one thing. And there's an analogy, and I'll give you the floor back. I liken it to the old photo boxes, the shoebox cameras. Remember those? Did you ever play with one of those? So there is a pinhole in a shoebox. You take it open and you cut a square out, and then you put a pinhole in the tinfoil that you put in that space. Okay, and then on the other side, you put some photo paper on the other side. on the back of it, right? And then you close it, tape it up, and then you take it outside somewhere and you point it at like a mountainscape, okay? And then all the light comes in through that little tiny pinhole. And all that light then from that pinhole comes and covers that whole backside of that shoebox and creates the entire picture. And you come back later and you you cover up the hole, go into a dark room, pull out the photo paper, and now you have the full picture. Right? It's not that you can't offer so many things. It's that once you have got them through the pinhole, you can then give them the full picture. But right now, it's a lot easier for you to market one thing than it is to market 10 things. So focus will create extraordinary presence.
Drop the mic. I think that is some incredible wisdom that I think so many entrepreneurs, but also business leaders are struggling with today, because life is a lot at the moment in all areas. But we're still trying to do business. We're still trying to move the needle. We're still trying to get shit done. And we're trying to provide all of this instead of going into the pinhole. And I think if people we've talked about it, slowing down to speed up, but really narrowing that focus and saying, I'm going to focus on this one thing. What can I capture? What message can I get across to you in those 3 seconds that then allows me to expand the conversation? Then those conversations that are supposed to happen will happen because they entered that pinhole.
Yeah, that's a great summation. Love it. Mic drop. And there you go.
So, Buzz, you've been in the marketing space for many, many years. You are, you have a couple books. So talk to our listeners really quick about I know that one book is coming out, but talk to us a little bit about that and, what made you write those books and what can people consume and learn from your books that are out there?
So what made me write my first book, The Rule of 26, which is a website marketing book and showing entrepreneurs where to focus their energy when it comes to website marketing, came from COVID, when I was watching tens of thousands of businesses basically get forced out of their brick and mortar. I should probably say tens of millions, tens of millions of businesses forced out of brick and mortar and figured out how to do business immediately, like yesterday type of stuff, right? And my clients did really well because I'd already done that. We only lost one client to COVID, and that was a early learning center. They just couldn't do business. The kiddos are not going to understand anything and pay attention to a screen for that long, right? So with all that said, the Rule of 26, if you consume that one, you are going to learn how to double your revenue by only focusing, there's that word again. Oh, that's so weird. On 3 KPIs. And so I go into how to, in what to look at, and then how to approach each of those in a profitable way, and increasing them each by only 26% to double your revenue. So leveraging math in your marketing is something you can do. The next one is called Small Changes, Massive Results. Now, these are for my entrepreneurs who have been around a minute. They've already started marketing and advertising, and now they're going, I don't want to spend more money. I want to spend the money that I am already spending smarter. I want to get more for every dollar. I don't want a 6 times ROI. I want an 8 times or a 10 times ROI. How do I do that? And that comes down to what we call A/B testing. And this book is about how to approach A/B testing and the culture of A/B testing and building a learning culture in your company so that testing can be part of your exponential growth. And from that, it will create extraordinary or what we call massive results. So those are the 2 right now. I'm in the midst of talking with the publisher about my 3rd book, But we can talk about that next.
That's awesome. So here at the GST Factor podcast, we talk about living that life of having confidence and inquisitiveness, imagination, presence, resilience, and influence. And this season on the podcast, we're really talking about how to step into your extraordinary. And with having you, Buzz, on the show, we're talking about stepping into your extraordinary in marketing. And you've already dropped some amazing nuggets on everybody. But if you were to come down to what is that one takeaway, what is that pinhole that one of our listeners is going to listen to and say, I want to talk to Buzz. I need what Buzz has. What would that be as they're stepping into their extraordinary with you?
The rewind button. I mean, geez Louise, what else did you need? I'm just kidding. Sorry, I had to do it.
That was good.
Oh man. If you don't have any of those problems, I want to talk to you and see what you're doing right. That's what I want to know, because I find that there are 5, you asked for one, but it really comes down to there are 5 things there are 5 blockades that are keeping you from extraordinary growth in your company, and what we call the growth to scale transformation. Okay, because growing a service-based firm is all about hustle. Scaling is about leverage. Now, I already gave you one of the 5 barriers, which was focus. Most people don't focus enough with their marketing and their business and so that creates barriers. Okay, the second is your identity. Okay, and your identity is a 2-sided coin. There's the identity that you project, and there's the identity that people see. You have to find the balance. So if you're projecting something out there that you think people should latch onto and they're not, you got a problem. I akin it to a two-way mirror. You can see you, but you're seeing a reflection of you. The people who are seeing you through the mirror are seeing you the way you are in the space that they're in. And there are 2 different spaces, right? There are 2 different rooms. And so you have to project through that window what they need to see so that they will come to you. Okay. So those are technically 2 of the barriers there. V is for visibility. We're not seen enough. Okay. And then, or your visibility is not effective because you're not showing up properly because you got an identity problem, just talked about, right?
Right.
And then the last is effectiveness. When you are seen and you do connect, are you saying the right things? Are you selling the right solutions? All of these things that come in play when it comes to closing the deal. And those are the 5, and that's an acronym, 5 barriers to your success. So if you can focus, get the right identity, then get profitable visibility, and are effective with your marketing, you will be able to leverage exponentially. And if that's something that's interesting to you, I'd love to talk to you. And we can talk about which barrier to overcome first, because they don't always go in that order.
Amazing. Buzz, keep getting shit done, friend. And thank you for sharing with our listeners today how to get shit done through marketing.
Sounds great. Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. Thanks. Thank you for listening to the GST Factor podcast. I'm your host, Misha Blameyer-Farish. Be sure to connect with me on LinkedIn or Instagram, as I love connecting with our listeners to hear how you are getting shit done in your personal and professional life. Be sure to visit our website at gstfactor.com, where you can take a persona assessment that's going to help you figure out what type of GSDer you are. There's also a ton of resources and tools for both yourself and your tiny humans in your life. We appreciate you rating and subscribing our podcast episode today. And don't forget to get shit done.